Hello and welcome to the next episode of the Neurodivergent Advantage. In this episode, we are going to be covering more around consumption on a number of different levels, through from mentally, emotionally, physically, and how that plays out, and it impacts your mindset, it impacts well-being, performance levels, relationships, everything. Very much holistic approach here. Now, before we jump onto that, if you are enjoying the content, or even if this is the first episode you've seen, please hit subscribe so then you can follow through when new episodes come out. So let's just go on to this subject of consumption. So first off, I'm going to go through why this matters. Then we're going to go through the different domains, the reticular activating system, and then we're going to finish on what you can do to arrange strengths, to start considering the different areas, and then finishing off on, again, that reminder of why it's so important. So this is, for me, speaking as an ADHDer, and I am someone that I'm in my mid-40s. I've run businesses, I'm a parent, I'm a coach, I'm a trainer, I'm an author, and this isn't just to say to you, I am this, I am that. It's to give you an example of, throughout all of this, I have struggled through with trying to find the best ways to be at my highest performing, get my mental strength sharpest, cognitive function, physical being, in so many different levels and in so many different phases of life. And it comes through from, like I say, there's a number of different areas, because you know what it's like when you're not your best. Your brain feels foggy. You struggle to string a sentence together. You jump from task to task. You may be more reactive and less patient, as you know is possible for you. And it impacts everything. Imagine going through from any of those feelings to being able to have your brain more switched on, to being more comfortable and being absolutely unashamedly you and comfortable in your own skin, to have a feeling of lightness and energy more often. It's not just this pie in the sky dream. It is there, but it takes work. It's not just a case of deciding, right, I'm going to manifest feeling good, I'm going to manifest good relationships. Everything takes work. And all of this, I am now blessed. I've got a wonderful relationship with my amazing husband, Dallas, and we have regular conversations around this and tweak and observe, and different things that work, different moments of fluctuations of communication, from the more challenging to things that really work. And that's part of looking at your domains, is the relationships you have around you. So that's just starting to touch on the importance. It's because how you live each day is how you apply yourself. It's how you feel within you, and how all of that is connected to different areas of your life. Now let's talk about the domains. I mentioned before, you're looking at mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. Even as I go through different areas of things that you consume, you will see that they are all interconnected. So things for mental well-being will very much cross over onto the emotional and the physical, and how we carry things in our bodies, because everything is connected. Consumption, it is not just about what you eat, but that is a massive one, and we are going to touch on that. So I ask that you consider, what do you read? What do you watch? What do you eat, drink, and who do you surround yourself with? It is considering what you do on a daily basis. And this is why we're going to get through onto things that you can do a bit further on, because we have something called the reticular activating system. And this is the part of our brain that literally filters out what you focus on. So, when we talk about what you choose to pay attention to, that's where your energy goes. As always, incredible quote by Tony Robbins, where your focus goes, your energy flows. This is really, really a truth, because think about this. If you are absorbing through TV, dramas, reality shows, disputes, issues, if you then listen to things that are around stress, or if you are surrounding and having people in your environment that cause tension or that suck your energy, how do you then feel? Because all of these are different messages going into your brain. Now, we have anywhere between 12 to 60,000 thoughts per day. They are also connected. It's not all of those as individualized thoughts. Now, it is said, and I'm going to ask you to perhaps search this, because there are a number of sources, but I always like you to verify for your own and not just believe everything you hear, even if it is me saying it. But getting in a habit of verifying truth and fact is really, really important, because there's so much information out there. And if you literally take everything on board as gospel, that's when challenges happen. So research yourself, everything I'm going through, and verify for yourself as well. So it is said that if you have ADHD, that you also have a sheer volume higher than that 60,000 thoughts per day. The reason why it's so important is because as humans, we tend to focus 80% of that on the negative and only 20% on the positive. So if you are not spending every day really attuning where you're focusing on, you can be really looking in the wrong direction and then wondering why you're feeling low, frustrated, not quite functioning at your best. So pay attention to what you focus on. So this is where I say consumption. Look at what you read, what you watch, who you surround yourself with. That's really, really important. Then as we go through even onto your working life, your career, how are you spending your day? Do you literally get up in the morning and feel like, oh, I'm tired, I've got the whole day ahead of me, I don't feel my best? Do you let those thoughts take over? Or when they come up, do you capture them and think, whoa, 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 okay, yes, I acknowledge that, I hear it, but I'm going to park that. What a better thought is, no, I might not be feeling great right now, but hold on a second. What do I need to do to focus on getting the right energy back? Because it is so different the way you experience the day if you choose to really lean into that feeling of frustration, not feeling that great. You can either choose to really go with that and run it, or literally label it and shift that. You're the one in control of this, and you do have control over how you feel, how you act, and how you think. They are, in fact, the only things that you have control of. You don't have control over other people. You don't have control over other situations. So focus on what you do have control of. So think about your day. Think as you move forward. Think about how you're interacting, and even be open to considering how you are responding to other people. And this is where we say, what are you absorbing in, and how are you even filtering it? If you notice it jars something in you, think, what is the meaning that I'm giving this? Because sometimes it's not always the right thing. We filter things through different lenses. Now, when we go through on to talking about the physical side as well, I ask you to consider and start tracking what you eat, what you drink, how much sleep you have, how much you hydrate. And these are the basics. Absolutely. But don't you find sometimes the basics are the hardest to do? So I know for me, I quit drinking. It will be, over a year and a half ago now. It was in August 2024. Because I know even with one glass of wine, my brain would then be fuzzy and just foggy for days after. And I made the choice of, I know I can't be the person that I need to and drink alcohol. I also have discovered over time as well, food. Anything that is overly processed, too much sugar, too much gluten, my body and brain literally shut down. So I have to eat really clean. And on the days that sometimes I do decide, right, you know what? I just want to be rebellious. I don't want to eat absolutely everything perfectly. I do it, and I have probably all the things that I shouldn't do. I had a craving for pizza the other week, and again, it takes a while to then cleanse, go back to that real clean eating. But I made a choice. But this is what it comes down to, is being intentional about what you do, what your actions are. So think about if you are choosing to drink highly sugary drinks each day, if you are literally spending your entire day drinking coffee just to stay functional, if you are drinking wine every night to switch off. All of these things impact you and how much you can focus, how you operate. Now, the other aspect is who you surround yourself with. Because there is a quote that I love, and that is, you are the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. Because where I even started off speaking about what you spend time with absorbing through your ears, through your eyes, the people around you bring a certain energy to you and impact you in a certain way. So if you are finding that you spend time with certain people, and when you walk away, you feel low within yourself, you feel drained, think about if that is someone that you should continue spending a lot of your time with. So when we talk about being able to do an audit, this is one of the biggest actions you can do, is break it down into eating, drinking, how you spend your time. Don't try and do everything all at once. You might just want to pick one thing to start with. As soon as anything is too hard, too complicated, it won't happen. So pick what you want to focus on. Is it looking at your nutrition? Do you want to start really focusing on who you spend your time with? Because quite often, when we have the moments when we're feeling really down or struggling, and then you start looking at what the influences are around you, what your environment is, that speaks volumes. But we quite often get in this monotonous daily habit that we forget to pay attention to what might be impacting all of those things. So before you decide there's anything wrong with you, or you're broken or just exhausted or whatever it is, catch that story. Because the other thing that you've got to pay attention to is also your inner dialogue. That's one of the biggest things. Because the inner dialogue, if you're not managing that, then all the other things will be a lot harder to work with. So going back to the audit, choose a domain to focus on. Is it mental and emotional that you're going to start looking at what you read? For example, as I said, do you watch things that are really quite depressing or drama-filled? It's fine every now and then. We all want to burn off steam and we have things that we enjoy watching or listening to. But if you do, then ensure that you also blend it with things that inspire you, that allow you to grow, to learn, to lift up, to make you feel good within yourself. And blend that in as well. Then start to look at, so we've gone through what you listen to, what you read, then start to look at, if you're going through the food side of things, really look at nutrition. Start paying attention to what you eat or drink on a daily basis. Again, quite often we get in habits and we just roll on through, and they're not always good for us, but it's not until we actually stop and pay attention that we can actually really start to address it. Then the other domain is on your environment. Now, actually, wait, hold on a second. You see, this is my ADHD coming in. I've just gone on to one other thing. Let me just come back for a moment just onto physical. It's movement as well. I know on the days when I don't move, I really struggle. So the first thing that I do of a day is I get up and I might do some strength or some stretching out, and then I'll take Bruce, my dog, he's curled up by my feet at the moment. I'll take him for a walk. and I'll be listening to a podcast at the same time. Because you find when you move and you're listening to something, it has an added power for really taking it on board. Consider your movement, consider your exercise. This is absolutely crucial, and being out in nature and fresh air and grounding. Look for those areas of creativity, of inspiration. It could be those moments of presence where you might like art, you might like listening or playing music. Wherever it is, you have that release and feeling of absolute presence. Then we're going to go through now, going back to environment, to do an audit on this. Find a way that works best for you. Some people like writing things down. Some it's just being able to process and just being able to draw more observation to it. But consider the people that you spend most of your time with and how you feel after that time. If you feel great, raised up, positive, fantastic. Spend time, nourish that, nurture it, build that relationship. But if you regularly feel downtrodden, bad, and walking away feeling worse about yourself or drained, listen to that. We have so much intuition that when we are worn down, we don't pay attention to. So this is one thing that it's really important. When you start to look at all this and get really good within yourself, you're able to use that beautiful intuition more and more and pick up on that gut instinct and listen to it. They are just a few things. And I'm keeping that really basic. But if you want a deep dive on any of these, you can just message me. You can message me on this platform or drop me an email on hello@inspiredcoaching.au, because this is just keeping it high level, just to start off looking at those areas. So just to recap, different domains of mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical. Consider what you read, what you watch, what you eat, what you drink, who you surround yourself with, what activities you do to lift and lighten yourself. And you know what the advantage is? Because this is all about looking after yourself and your brain. Because for your brain, all of these things nourish it. You can then work with your own rhythms better. You can start to get clearer on when you are most functional, on if you have any slower days, faster days, your energy peaks and drops. You can then work through more into your strengths, your traits, and start to really appreciate those unique aspects about yourself and get really clearer on, okay, the things that I've been struggling with, is this actually real and genuine, or is it something that has been created by lifestyle or my environment? And if I shift that, will I then feel better? Will my brain function better? Will my body feel better? Will my relationships improve? All of these things are really crucial to you, your daily experience, your relationships, your ability to work in whatever career it is that you do. It's how you interact within your relationships, with your spouse, with your friends, with your kids. It impacts everything. So thank you for listening. And just that reminder, I call it the neurodivergent advantage because every single brain has its own advantage. Every single communication type, every single individual. If you are neurodivergent, lean into it, appreciate it, because, and I'm not going to call it a gift or a superpower, because sometimes that can be very much toxic positivity. But there are massive strengths and advantages, but you need to find your own within you. Thank you for listening or watching, and subscribe. See you in the next episode.